Hello student, welcome to our physics session, and that is physics in a smart way. In our last some videos that was under the playlist that you can find, that is mathematics for physics, we had discussed the calculus, derivative and integration, but basically our job was to discuss calculus, how to handle it. Now, we'll be going in the pursuit of another thing, that is why calculus is so important in our study of natural sciences, and basically here that is in physics. So because calculus is in two parts, one is differentiation, other is integration. So first of all, I am considering derivative or use of derivative, how differentiation or derivative is useful in the study and in the analysis of physics or physical sciences. So derivative, let us say, we consider a straight line. We consider a line. Line may be straight, may be curved. That doesn't matter. A curved line will be putting a small bit of difficulty. Apart from that, all the other aspects are like that of a straight line. You may have heard of a term that is slope of a line. Slope of a line. Usually that is denoted by a single letter, that is m. Slope of a line, I'll be uploading some videos on coordinate geometry where the usefulness or utility of the slope will be coming in a very big way and all that. But with a chance that some of you may not know it, I am discussing it very briefly. When somebody says slope of a line, that is not line, that is line. Slope of a line, I have taken straight line. You consider positive x-axis, and that is your straight line. The positive x-axis is in blue. You know, since our school level, angle measurement starts from positive x-axis. So from positive x-axis, we turn towards the line, and mark my words, you have to start from positive x-axis. That is the convention. You cannot violate that. You cannot violate that. Just like you consider positive x towards right, that's a convention. So whatever angle you got, tan of that angle is known as the slope. It's known as the slope. And usually we may be bored by writing tan theta, tan theta, tan theta every time. That is denoted by a letter, that is m. So somewhere in the context of calculus or coordinate geometry, we see the word m, immediately slope must be coming to our mind. Now, you should not ask me now, why tan theta, why not sin theta, why cos theta? All those will be discussed later. Don't worry. Don't worry. Take it for granted that tan theta has got several advantages, serious advantages over sin and cos theta or sec cosec theta. Thereby it is given importance. That is just for you now, at present. So that is known as the slope. If a line is like this and you are trying to find the slope, then you draw an auxiliary x-axis, positive x-axis. From that x-axis, you turn the angle, okay? Let us say that is the angle, till you reach the straight line, okay? That is the angle alpha. So in the first case, the line number 1, that is line number 2, slope of line number 1 is tan theta. And in second case, slope of line number 2, m2, will be equal to tan alpha. So whenever you are finding slope, You start from positive x-axis, turn towards that line. Doesn't matter whether you cover an acute angle or obtuse angle. Let us say if we have a line like this, a straight line like this, that is line number 3, then to determine the slope of line number 3, I have to move from positive x-axis, and you can clearly see a huge angle is produced, that is beta. So slope of the third line M3 will be equal to tan beta. Using your past experience of tangent values or tan values, you know here tan beta, because beta is an obtuse angle, tan beta will be coming out as a negative quantity, whereas tan theta and tan alpha, they will be coming out, or they will come as positive. Anyway, that is the idea about the slope. But we have limited our discussion to straight lines only. And because slope can be very easily or very briefly explained with the help of straight lines, I have taken a straight line. But now the question comes in, what about the slope of a curve? For that, let me clear up the space and again recreate the x and y axis, and then we shall discuss the slope of a curve. There you will see the utility of the derivative or differentiation that comes in a big way. These are our x and y axes. Let us say we draw a curve. We draw a curve. Okay, the curve should be smooth. We draw a curve. That is the curve which is shown. This is origin, x and y axis. As you can clearly see, so far as the slope is concerned, a straight line and a curve, and the discussion of slope will be different when you compare the slope of a curve with the slope of a straight line. A straight line has a slope everywhere, and that is same. Wherever you go for a straight line, that makes the same angle with positive x-axis, and tan of that angle is slope. So straight line is pretty simple, pretty straight, and the slope of a straight line is everywhere same. But if you try to define a curve from the point of view of a slope, the slope of the curve will be changing from point to point. Let us say we go for some rough work. I try to find the slope at a particular point. If our job is given like that, or if our job is like that, then you know the way we have been trained on the slopes, you take a small portion of a curve. And we know that if you take a very small portion of a curve, and mind it, the moment I use the word very small, immediately derivative and integration, they will be coming around from the corner. और हमको पूछेंगे, आप हमको बुला रहे थे क्या? Did you ask for us? Because you use the word very small, we got many dx, many dy's, many dm's and all that. Okay, that was for fun. So if you consider a very small portion and draw our auxiliary x-axis, we know the angle that is created will be slope. But if I am asked to, or if you are asked to find the slope at this point, then you are forced to consider the way you have been trained on the in finding slope, a straight line there, take a small portion, and using a scale and all that, try to extend it. Try to extend it. When you extend it, you know that looks like a tangent. That doesn't look like a tangent. That is a tangent, in fact. Okay, you draw auxiliary x-axis, then you try to find the slope. As our common sense says, slope is changing from point to point. So a curve can be defined as a straight line, and a straight line with variable slope. As you go from point to point, as you can clearly see, the angle looks different. The angle is changing from this to from this. As the curve goes on, these things happen. So we can define a curve is a line with varying slopes at different positions. Okay. Now let us go back to the job and our rough work that we have to do. As I told you, you consider a very small portion of the curve here and try to draw a tangent. Practically, you are asked to find the slope. So I am just transferring it to here. So if you are asked to find the slope of a particular point, mark my words, slope at a particular point, in fact, has got no meaning. Has got no meaning. Because if you confine yourself to that point, you just cannot find the slope. You will be sitting there with your scale, pencil, drawing instrument, and nothing happens. And nothing happens. Okay? You cannot find it out. So, strictly speaking, slope at a particular point is a meaningless term from the point of view of mathematics or from the point of view of practicality. But we use that term repeatedly, many times, and we shall be using that term. So, and you know, at the same time, physics is a science of, it is approximate measurement, approximate measurement. So, if you cannot find a slope, because a particular point cannot give you any angle or anything such that, so you will be forced to consider a small portion of the straight line, a small portion of the straight line, and let us say that portion, and try to join these two extreme points in the close neighborhood of the point where you are asked to find the slope. So you consider a point to the right, a point to the left, and we consider a certain stretch of the line. Let us say we put that by delta S. That is just a symbol. We know if you consider the points very close, then it is more likelihood that delta S will appear as a straight line. If the points 1 and points 2, they are far apart, those extremities that you have selected in the neighborhood of this far apart, then that will be looking at a curve. We must not go into those ideas. So as a precaution, we will be keeping those points close. If I draw auxiliary x-axis, that is the x-axis, and I am drawing the y-axis here. Sorry. You may ask why y-axis? I just ask you to be patient. Okay. So thereby, it seems we are creating a triangle sort of thing. But this inclined side, it may not be a straight line. It may not be a straight line because till now we have just selected 2 points, one at the left, other to the right of the point where we are asked to find the slope, and we have not made sure that those points are very close. So somehow that's a triangle. This base portion, I can put it as delta x. This height portion or perpendicular portion, I can put that as delta y. And if for the time being, I forget that this is a curve, in fact, part of a curve, then somebody may take that to be a straight line. That makes a small angle here. That makes an angle here. Our diagram is small. Angle may not be small. So Somebody may try to find the slope as tan theta. And tan theta, we know it, that must be delta y by delta x. We know that idea, we have borrowed it from trigonometry if you consider as a triangle. But the person who has given us the job, you try to find the slope, he won't be satisfied. No, why you have done such mischief, where you have taken a stretch of the curve, part of the curve, that is really a curve, and that doesn't look straight. You are forced to make it a right angle triangle, do the needful corrections. So what will be doing here, if you correct our ideas, if you make our ideas more and more correct, we'll be trying to bring the points close to the point where we are asked to find the slope. So when the points are brought closer, let us say slightly closer, the value of delta S will be decreasing. Okay, the size of the triangle that we see will be decreasing, but then that person is not satisfied. So then we bring them more closer. In our extreme case, we'll be having a triangle which is very, very small here, which is very, very small here, small triangle. I am just putting it under a microscope, and the real size is very small. So the point is there. The points 1 and 2, they are very close. Okay, because whatever you do, that person is not satisfied. So we try to bring in the points 1 and 2 close and try to pacify him or her. Okay, we go on continuing the job. In our extreme case, we know points 1 and 2, they'll be very close. They'll be almost touching the point. At that time, delta S will cease to exist. Delta S becomes ds. And this delta x, base of the triangle, that becomes dx. And the height or perpendicular, that becomes dy. Because we have created such a fine case of bringing those extreme points close, and more close, as per the demand of that person, you have made delta S approaching to 0. As a result, delta S becomes, so immediately we know the limits comes in, delta S becomes ds, and delta x becomes dx, delta y becomes dy. Okay, so slope, and that is the maximum you can do. You cannot go any further. If that person who has given the job is not satisfied, then simply we raise our hands, we surrender by hum kuch nahi kar sakte. We cannot do anything because we have already reached the limit of our observation, limit of our construction, limit of our instruments. So there we stop. So then slope, the last job that we have taken, will be expressed as limit. We may write delta x, delta y, or delta s tends to 0, delta y by delta x, and that will be dy by dx. That is the best possible job a person can do to find the slope at a particular point. He should take a portion of the curve in the close neighborhood of that point, so that the curve portion that we have considered is very, very small. And you know, a very small portion of any curve, it can resemble a straight line, it can be taken as a straight line. That express permission we got from mathematics. And the moment we see that dy by dx, we know now derivative has automatically come in without our realizing it. So slope at a particular point of a curve, that is equal to dy by dx. Okay. You may be wondering on this like this. Okay. It may be the way to find the slope. But what practical benefit it will give me? The thing is that we are just here writing the slope, and you have understood that slope equal to dy by dx. But when you transform this curve and all those things to the issues of physics, this can give you the value, this slope can give you the value of instantaneous velocity. Instantaneous values, instantaneous our velocity, instantaneous acceleration, instantaneous something else, instantaneous current, something like that. This is very, very useful. Because you are talking mathematically, here the thing appears at the slope. But the moment you transform into the ideas of physics, slope will cease to exist. In place of slope, in the place of slope, the things will appear where they are very much useful in physics or maybe physical chemistry, in natural sciences. There may be velocity, there may be acceleration, there may be current, there may be so many things that we'll be learning later on. Don't worry, because our learning must proceed in a very smooth way. You cannot have a big cake and gulp it at once. That will create indigestion, or maybe that will stick in your throat. So step by step, our process must go on. So that was the biggest use of derivative to find the slope of a curve, and slope of a curve has got serious implications, serious uses in mathematics. So thank you. You may like, you may subscribe, you may share this with your friends if you find this valuable. In my next video, I'll be going to integration and try to apply calculus for our physical uses. And how about the job of today, how the slope will be giving us instantaneous velocity and acceleration, maybe current, maybe something else, that we'll be discussing bit later. Okay, thank you again and goodbye.